today. I don't know what's going to happen today because I'm waiting on some supplies to come in. Well, let's look at some pictures and see what we can do until that point. Well, we're going to have to make this front section, that's for sure. And we're going to have to make a lip that comes up like that, but not that big. So let's see. Let's cut that down 1/3. 1/3 looks good. Let's just do it. Ain't nothing to it but to do it. That's a song, actually. If you ever heard someone say that, because it's a song. It's a good song. And I don't know if a lot of people hear that song, but it's a good song. All right, I see I'm a little crooked, but that happens when you're cutting stuff on a live show, trying to do good. Instead, no, you're going to mess up. Like, just before I started, I spilled water all over. I was trying to call my eye appointment to find out when I was getting my new glasses, and none of that happened. So I'm just trying to get all this other stuff organized. Okay, I also will need a trim piece that goes around. So let's find some large pieces. There's a large piece right here. The Original Taste. Let's cut this into pieces, and we'll use that. Let's take a look at a pencil. Let's take that pencil, and we're just going to mark the same size like that. And where did I put my special magical quilting ruler? Not only is this good for quilting, but it's good for this type of stuff. Now you can guesstimate with my eyes right there. It looks pretty good. There we go. That's a little bit better. And now we're just going to cut it and cut it twice. Ah, it still didn't come loose. Sometimes that happens. I think my blade is getting dull. These blades probably don't last as long as we would hope they do. There we go. Nope. Nope. 3 times the charm? 4 times the charm? What is going on here? See, live shows is where all the mistakes happen. Oh my gosh. Anyway. Just having one of those days. Thanks for joining, everybody. If you're out there, thank you so much. Hanging on. Hanging in there, my friends. Okay. Now, I don't like the plainness of this one. So I think what I will do is see if I can bring that. Let's bring this down. If I can bring that around down into it. Yeah. What about these other sections? I'm thinking about right here. I might have to put those in between. See, I already built it the way to the picture, and the picture doesn't have that ribbon going through, see? But everything else does. So I might go ahead and just do that anyway. It's my artist interpretation, because in reality it doesn't look the same without having that one design. And because we talked about how this is probably designed maybe by 1 or 2 different artists that put this together, you're not going to have everything going together the right. So just doing the best we can there. That one's going to go there, and then this one's the one that will wrap around. So we're just going to go ahead and, where do we want to do it? Right, according to this, it's in the middle. Okay. And before we do that, it's very important that you sand this back side of this cardstock, because if you don't, hello, a tear, if you don't sand it, it won't glue very well. It won't stick. So I'll just put my paper here over another piece of paper. Oops, flip it, and reverse it. And then come up like this and just sand down real quick. Just putting lines in there. Just do it real quick. It's important. I know, it's lame, but it's important. All right, now what I'm going to do is go ahead. Oh, before I do anything, nope. All right, I just want to double check to see if I was smart or not. And nope. I'm going to go around and I'm just going to put the glue on here. Oops, that's a little stuck in there. I'll have to fix that, those back parts. I'll probably cut these. All right, put it on, and just like the picture, we're about halfway. Don't count the top part. We're just counting up to that top part. So we're just gonna put this on there, and then bend, bend, squeeze, fold, pinch, whatever. Okay, and then we'll go down and do this side here. Oops, pinch. I'm kind of doing this a quick way. I'm not doing this like I normally would, be much more precise, and I'm more of like, I don't really care today attitude, which is actually really good. Sometimes it gives you a good kickstart when you're doing your art to get past some hard points that you may be stuck at, which is right now me every day. Actually, I'm waiting on my lighting kit to come in. I ordered a special lighting kit for this. I figured, you know, let's just do it. Because I had a great envision, you guys. I envisioned something cool. Hello, Max, thank you. I am making From Dusk Till Dawn diorama. And so I've got all the semi trucks out. This is a wall hanging diorama. I'll show you guys real quick. This is a wall hanging diorama, and it'll go on the wall, and on each side is, we got Juliet, they're not done yet, Juliette Lewis, Selma Hayek, and then in the back, I've got this secret little hidden door, and then you can hang it on the wall here and here. And then what I'm getting are lights. So what will happen is the lights will come out of the back onto your wall, and the motorhome will shoot a shadow of the motorhome up on the wall. So imagine, I just got my little car or motorcycles in. So I have some great vision for this. I just can't wait for my lights to come in. But I did order the motorcycles. Here we got them. And the men just popped right off. The little guys popped right off of there. So I was worried I'd have to cut them off. So that is perfect. There's 3 of them. And they fit perfectly with all the dimensions. I mean, they're a little, I kind of say a little small, tiny bit small, but I think that'll work just fine. I'll have to paint this too. So that will go up here on the diorama. So right before you guys came in, I just glued one of these little sections inside. That way, when you look inside, well, I see it came unglued. I'm gonna paint it that super, super, like the world's blackest black, right there. And that way it'll give that depth look. See how dark that is. I actually painted this with regular black to see the difference. Let's move that light. So where it looks like there's a hole right here, that is the blackest black, and then right here is regular black. This is like gray, but right here this is black. So you could really see the difference that ultra black makes. Really amazing. So I did that for the windows and everything. So this is my Dracula Tame Impala diorama I just finished making, and it's pretty I don't know, it's not so great. Look at that. Look at how I put the battery in there. It's because my wires were really short and I didn't expect that, and I kept having problems. And then in the video, in the Dracula Tame Impala video, when they pull away, you can see a water spout. So I put this resin water spout in the back here, so it looks like the water spouting of the hole. Oop, that one just came right out because I didn't glue it in there yet. And then I have a little pile of water right there. Just I have to put some base on here and call it good. But that was my Tame Impala diorama. I cut the truck off, the back end off the truck. I put these stack of Legos on the back to look like a sleeper cab. And then I cut the back end off of another truck and I put them together. I glued them together. And then I went ahead, and these are cotton balls that I hairsprayed to get them to kind of stay a little tough. You can kind of spread them out a little bit. And then I made the house with that cardstock, the same stuff I'm making, you know, lots of stuff out of. And then all the people, so just like the video. And then the headlights, we push this little button, the lights light up. Beep. So that is what I just did really quick. This weekend, because I am waiting for these lights to come in. and I'm excited about it. I did have some other lights I was using, and I just decided last minute just to not use those lights. So I don't know where I'm going to cut that. I'll put that there. This one's almost completely dry, but I want to do something about these edge pieces here. So I have to make those look nice. I don't want this line right here, but I don't know what I'm going to do just yet. So this section goes right here. And then what next I need to do is I have to make a smaller top section than this. This section goes on here. And then I don't have them made yet because I haven't gotten to this point. But I have some examples. I will be then making a ring around the top. So it'll just go like that. And that's where that front section is that you've seen in the picture. Right here. That front section up here. Right there. And then that's what I'm putting on, and I'll get to that point. So little bits and pieces as I go. Put that there and keep going and doing this. So what else was I supposed to do today? A lot of stuff. I'm still, like I said, waiting for the lights to come in. That will be over the next 2 or 3 days. And then I'm working on painting and of course getting my diorama done here. Hello, Chris Vizentine. I am Tammy Walker. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining me. There we go. So we'll put that down. So this is the diorama that I've got to finish up. I thought I'd be all smart today and get my show all in, ready, and done, but oh, I'm just having one of those days. So this is what I'm working on. So next what I'm going to do is I actually found some ballast that I have that I might use instead of the sand. The problem is, can you see me? You're not even talking to me. Nope, I can't see you. I can only see myself. So I've got this sand here, and I bought a bunch of this. It was like, I got it for half price, 50-pound bag of sand, which I need for many dioramas. But the problem with this sand is it's kind of green compared to the diorama. I can fix that. I've talked about this before, where here's the sand, and then I put burnt sienna, watered down burnt sienna on there. So look at how much more browner that got. So I can do that, or I can use the ballast. Now the ballast is not as fine as the sand. So the ballast is thicker. Let me go get the ballast. You guys talk to yourselves for 2 seconds. I'm gonna grab that ballast and I'm gonna talk about that real quick. All right, ballast is really for train dioramas. This is what goes around the train tracks. And that's what keeps the train tracks from absorbing movement. I'd watch the whole video on it. I mean, you can watch it yourself. So now, here we go. That is the ballast. See how nice that color is? That would go really well with this. So I can use the ballast, I guess, as my sand, but once again, I still don't feel it is fine enough. It's just a little too thick and big. I mean, if you measure these little pieces, and then do the mathematical equation, it's just gonna look like giant rocks. So I think I can solve these problems by going to the bottom of these bottom of here. So I don't know, sometimes you can get the really fine materials at the bottom, but that means you gotta dump everything out to get it. If I have to do that, I will. So there's my ballast for this project. If I need, I'm gonna put this over on my table side over here. I have all my supplies right here, so I can just grab and go as I'm working. The motorhome, that's another thing I need to work on. I've got it taken apart here. All you need to do is drill out the little rivet, and then they will come apart. Smaller cars have 2 rivets that you drill out, and then these larger ones will have 1 rivet and then like a little lip that folds out. So what I need to do is make this look white. What am I gonna do about that? I don't know. I'm gonna try some gesso, and I'm gonna do some sanding. Just a little bit of sanding. This is a 90s motorhome, or no, this is a 2001 motorhome, and then I needed, I believe, a 1977. Well, I couldn't find that in any of the Hot Wheels uh, that I looked through. So, and plus, this is the one vehicle I did not have in my supplies. So I'm just gonna sand this down. I've got a smaller sander, but where did I throw that? I'm actually pretty organized, but every so often something just gets away from you, and then you gotta find an alternative, and that ain't working. This was the lights I originally, I'll show you these are the lights that I originally picked out for this project. And man, they go through those batteries quick. Let me tell you what, that's why they send you so many batteries. And this one was supposed to shine up behind, but that wasn't going to be feasible because you have to take these down and then re-put batteries in them quite often. So it's not worth it. So instead, I went ahead and ordered the plug-and-play system from Woodland Scenics. I have ordered that plug-and-play system before. It has worked really great, and I like them. I like it a lot. So there is some other new systems too. Diorama is a new system. I might use that for this next project coming down the lane. But the reason I picked Plug and Play from Woodland Scenics this time is because they have a flashing lights transformer that you hook the lights to, and all the lights will flash. And I need that for this upper area, and the rest of the lights aren't going to flash that I have anticipated for this. They're just going to be solid. So I need those flashing lights for the top, and I got red and blue for that. I figured if I added any more colors in there, if I got like green and yellow, they may all just kind of blend wrong. So I decided no. I can always go back, or I might have some in my supplies of other colors. So since I've done large dioramas using the plug and play system before, I know that it is reliable and it's a great, easy system to work with. All right, tap cloth that off, and then we're gonna get back into some gesso. I guess you could also spray paint this, which would be easier, but it's an old looking RV, so it's not going to look great. And when I'm done painting it, it'll look like the old RV. So it's actually more off-white, but I'm just going to start with my gesso and just put that on first. Get a little bit of water. There we go. Just put some in gesso right across. I'm just doing a thin layer. It's just more of a primer. It will come off if you scrape it with your fingernail, but it will act as a glue between the paint and this metal. Pot tin, is that what they call it? Die cast. So here we go, just doing this as we go. Now I heard people, or someone mentioned putting headlights into the motorhome, but that is not going to be something I really want to do. It doesn't go with what I envisioned for this, but I am going to put headlights in a vehicle hanging off of the cliff edge somewhere. So I'm not quite sure how it's going to go, but I just had this vision in my head, and I said, oh, you got to do that. Not every time do they turn out as I anticipate. Sometimes they get way better, but rarely are they worse. They might just slide over to the okay zone, but rarely are they worse. I don't know. I think when you first started doing art, a lot of your projects you're gonna have more fails than wins, and then after a while you start to have more wins than fails. So you start to learn as you go. All right, here we go. Put that across the back. And then I will hand paint all the designs onto here. So hello, Max and Lucas are cute. Thanks for joining. Hello, I appreciate it. Always start on Monday on my lives. All professional like. And then by Thursdays, I'm almost pretty much in my pajamas again or something, you know. I wore my new tiger skirt today, so I have to show you my tiger skirt. It's very cool. I'm not a skirt girl, but if you are cold it's hard to carry a blanket around your waist. So what is the next best thing? A skirt. It's like a blanket around you just carry it around. It's awesome. All right. That looks really good. I'm gonna let that dry. It's already dry on the top. Yay! Okay, we want off-white. So what I'm gonna do, since I already have this out, is a what is this called? Latte. Latte. Is there a lighter color than latte? Cafe latte. Are you lighter? Nah. This is more yellow. This is more brown, but we'll go with that. Okay, next thing we're gonna do is stare off into the wild aimlessly. We're gonna put some stuff down like that. We're gonna put this up here. Oh, we're not even seeing it anymore. There we go. Boop. Oh, there's my tiger skirt. Roar. There we go. See? Got my Adidas on too. Adidas. All right. There we go. And so what I'm going to do is just take this. I've been putting paint in here over and over again for years, you know, like just a little bit and mixing it. And this is how much paint I got to the top. It's always to the top. This is it. I just had the other one. Look at that. I mean, that is quite an accomplishment, I think. All right. Put a little more. The reason the edges were peeled is I thought I could peel it out of this cup. And no. That was the answer. Nope. All right, let's clean that brush off. Let's mix. We're going to dip it right in there. I don't mix my colors together. I'm just going to mix them together here. But it's one clean brush into your paint. Don't put this into another color because then it'll ruin it. Okay, here we go. That looks like a nice off-white. There we go. Hope I don't get a copyright for whistling the banana splits, but there we go. You know, they say, I guess you can do like up to 30 seconds, but I got copyright hit on one of my videos for doing like 5 seconds. I took the song off, and the copyright still stayed on there. So, anything. Now, let's say we put this on here and it looks chunky. Well, we can let this dry and sand it with that 400 grit sandpaper and then put another coat of paint on and it'll be way smoother and nicer. There's more than one way to put a shoe on a horse. I just made that one up. I didn't want to say there's more than one way to skin a cat because I don't know if that's PC anymore. Can we even say those things anymore? I don't know. That's the problem when you're in between generations of slang. You're not sure what the new slang is. All that old slang to new slang. All right, that looks good. I want to make sure I do it on lightly, so it's not going to be completely covered because I want to do light little strokes so I don't have those lines, those crispy lines. We took my motorcycle yesterday on a long bike ride around town. It was a lot of fun. Ended up at Dairy Queen. Got a hamburger. Delicious. Nutritious. Oh, I am going to show you another thing I'm going to do to make this look different. Okay, look at this. Is already starting to look like a legit, like a 90s motorhome. So if you get a whiter off color motorhome, that's more the bargain basement ones. But once you start getting like browns and black motorhomes, then you're spending way more money. Those are the much more darker motorhomes are much more expensive. I know because that's what happened to my grandparents. They got a more expensive motorhome and they got a darker one. Their whole life was to travel around America in an RV, and they got to do that. And that's amazing. And they got to upgrade their RV and stuff. I had a little dot there, so there we go. And so people live in their dreams. That's pretty cool. I don't know if I really want to go around in an RV. I did want to take my big wheel across America, ride my big wheel, you know, but it just seems dangerous. Seems like I'll just get ran over or something. Everything is dangerous. I guess you just got to decide which dangerous you want to be. So I am planning the trip on the longest gravel road in Washington State. So that's one reason I've been practicing my bike. I'm a dirt bike rider, so I have to practice street riding. That's different. Okay, I gotta sit down. See, I ride Montesa, and so I always stand up when I ride. So you can't do that with street riding. So I've been having to practice. It's a little bit difficult, but I did pretty good yesterday. I didn't crash, which is weird because when I dirt bike ride, I crash every time, but I didn't crash. All right, see how much better it's getting? It is a little chunky, like I said, but we can go ahead and sand that off as we go. So, there we go. All right, let that sit to the side and let this dry for a little bit. We're gonna let it dry longer than we think. But I will show you what we're gonna do about this. Okay, we got that. Now we have this. This is the glass that goes inside. We need to make this look cool. What am I going to do about it? Well, first we're going to try, because it's blue as kind of the negative. We want a white curtains. And if you see me do these curtain effect, all you do is kind of water down your paint. And you just want to put stripes down like that. Just very gentle stripes. And we're just going to do the whole thing like this. Because I don't know where the windows are. I didn't hold it up and guesstimate. I feel like that's too thick, but here we go. This look will look like curtains folded or pleated. Okay, there we go. Right here on the edge. Let's wipe that off. Okay, let's take a practice look. We can do a little. We won't mess anything up, I'm sure. All right. Oops, I did I cut it with my finger. Okay, so that's how we're gonna put the curtains in there. We're just gonna do it like that. There we go. All right, and back to this. Back over here. Back to this side. Wow. Wowza. Anybody watch Red Dwarf? Cat. I love Cat. Wow. We still quote Red Dwarf. We still say Smeghead. One of the greatest sci-fis. Going through all the different Hollies. All right. Lister, Holly, Cat. Oh, I should know this. I should know. Why am I not remembering his name? Someone's going to tell me. Someone's going to tell me. All right. That's just our example there. I'm going to let that sit. Sometimes you got to put paint down and let it kind of dry before you put more paint down. Yeah. That one looked way better. That side looked way better. Okay. I'm just going to set that. And then we'll do the front. And we'll do the back. There. Okay. We get that going. All right. We put that piece around the front, and now we need to decide about this edge piece. So let's look. We want to keep our designs the same, and I think what I'd be best to do is just add another piece across. I don't know. Let's see. Look at that. Yeah, I think so. I think you're right, Tammy. I think you're right. All right. Well, oh, what did I do? I did too tiny. That's all right. It's the pressure of doing a live show. That's all. Just do this. There we go. Too legit to quit. All right, and that will work just fine in that zone. Perfect. I'm going to take out my knife. So let me put this back. Let's get out the thing over here. And let's just get this straight line. Well, we mowed the lawn for the first time the other day, and all the grass decided it loved it and grew an inch tall the next day. So it looks like the mowing season has begun. They've turned our water on for the sprinklers, and we're off. We're off for summer. We're off like a herd of turtles. A herd of turtles in the summertime. Let's do this over here. Oops. Okay, and we'll just cut that down. Oh, that's good. It's perfect. That's a little bit more than half on both sides. And we'll come over just a more, just a hair. I like to make it straight, even if it's crooked. It's like construction. You try really hard to get your foundation straight, to do the best you can, and then you put your like stud walls up, and you try really hard to make those straight, do the best you can. Well, foundation may not have been perfect, so your stud walls, you might have had to shim them or put them in a certain way, and then those aren't exactly perfect. And then it goes from there. So nothing is truly ever square. You try. It's like quilting too. Quilting, you sew sections together and then you square them out. And then you sew them into bigger sections and then you square those out. How could it be out of square if you've already pre-squared it, right? And then you put it together and you got to square it again. Yep, that's called life. All right, got that on there just like this. Perfect, excellent. If I don't like something, cut it later. If it's not cool, you know the drill. And get in there, my friend. See, you gotta kind of just clamp with your fingers really when you do this. You just, no other way. All right, put this other section here. Let's sand this out just a little bit. And go here. Oh, I tell you, my YouTube feed is all messed up. I'm sure a lot of you are complaining the same problems. I see it on all the time on Reddit. There's social media sites. There's like YouTube and TikTok, and since those are the two that I decided to use, there's a lot of complaining going on about everybody's algorithm, and it's across the board. It's not just YouTube. It's everywhere. Everybody's complaining. And I can't find anything real worthy of anything. In fact, the other day I did my show and I was trying to figure out LED lights or LEDs. I keep calling LED lights, but they are. LED means light. And so I went and watched the top 7 videos, and I did learn some things. But those are things I forgot already. And then I was like, oh yeah, that's right. But honestly, I didn't learn what I wanted to learn. And it was frustrating to watch all these people, their entire shows. But I did find somebody I liked, their personality and attitude. So I was like, well, I'll just join in. But she was so mathematical. She was so into like this. I was like, man, this lady is far beyond me. But I'll watch her anyway. So. Okay, I got those little side pieces in there. That's one. Yay! We'll put that down. I don't know what to tell you guys. I didn't really think I was going to do a whole hour today. But here we are at this point. There we go! Yay! So, there we go. We got that. That's looking good. Let's take a look at this. Put this together. There. We got that curtains all the way around. I think that's gonna look good to a point, I guess. We'll find out as we go. And I think I could put a little bit more. Let's do a little bit more. I have a tiny bit of paint left. No more paint left. It all dried up. Okay. That's what's there. So I'm just waiting on those pieces to come in for my lighting kit. I didn't really want to get into doing much until that light kit came in. So, you know, because if I have to go in and take some large sections out, I didn't want to get in there and mess with that and ruin those sections. What else did I tell you guys? I think that's it. That's it. Oh, let's end with we'll end with my Dracula Tame Impala diorama. We'll have to get some base around this. And I just used up some of my little people. Make it look like they were dancing, like in the video. I remade the trailer. I originally was using a different trailer. And so I remade this to a low boy trailer with some tiny wheels. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to do these things. I got the windows in there and the two lower. There wasn't a window in the upper one. In fact, it was a void spot. So I used that blackest black paint for it. And in the windows, I actually painted the back of them black. So that's why you can't see in through them. And I did have a fifth light in here. And what happened was, I think I broke the connection, but the fifth light was supposed to light up the house. And I was trying to like shimmy it into there and pull it and get it in there, and it stopped working. Oh well, I guess that's good enough. The hardest thing with making this little railing is really bad. I just had a piece of material and I melted it so I could bend it up, and then I just glued tiny little pieces to it. It's not the best, but hey, there we go. Then I just did some ink pen on some cardstock here to look like the shutters. The door's a little different than this, but it was more square. And since, you know, everything wasn't exact, of course, you have to, you know, you're watching a music video. You can only get so perfect, right? So then I made the little oil can container. And then this was a generator that lit up the house for the music video. These cotton balls, I hairsprayed them and it made them stiff. And then I glued them on here. Now I could actually puff these out a little bit to make them better. So I just thought that was good enough for now. There's a few things that I noticed in the videos. There was two sets of smokestacks. They use a fake set of smokestack to put out fake white smoke out of there. And then, so that's why they had two. And also because this was just a Peterbilt without the sleeper cab, and I had to make a sleeper cab for it. The fuel tanks were supposed to go under the sleeper cab, and so I should have like learned a little bit more about cutting and then cut those out and move them to the back or something, but I think that's fine. I mean, if you really want to get into it to particulars too much. So I tried to do everything the best I could. I used my micron pens for the to look like the clapboard. And then every so often I filled in with a little bit more black, like in the video, the clapboard looked really off. And yeah, and then painted the roof with that black to look like the hole, instead of cutting a hole out, which I could have done too, but it was too late when I decided to do this part. I had already glued everything together. And then I used some of that sand that I have here for that driveway, which is a little too much, I think, for this project, but that's okay. Like I said, this is more of a, I wanted to do this really quick, and I did. I have all my little people. Here's one of the biker guys from the motorcycles. I put him up there. And then I have this lady, she's a sitting, but I just wanted to make it look like they're dancing, because that's what they were doing in the video, was dancing. So dancing, dancing. I have tons of people, but I didn't want to waste them on this project, so I figured that was enough people for this. Oh, and there's another biker guy too, I forgot, right there. Yeah, and then I'll just put my stuff. Now this is not how, what I ended up doing is I realized when I was working with my lights that I needed a larger capacity battery. I learned about 1.5 volts and capacities and all of that stuff. And so I took apart one of our smoke detectors. Actually, it was a carbon monoxide detector. Yes, okay, I took apart the carbon monoxide tester and took out the components so I could wire it all together to make this work. It's not like the like $35 for that. But it wasn't working anymore anyway, so I guess that's okay. But here we go, I got all that. And then I made a little thing, and then you can pull this out. I don't know if it'll pull out easily or not. How sometimes you just make things janky and you think about it later on. You're like, that's so bad. In fact, I wrote in here, I know this is really dumb. But my wires weren't very long and I had to do what I had to do. And in the end, I messed up. But if I needed to, I can just take this off and fix everything a little bit. But I don't know if I want to test that because I don't know what type of wires to hook this to. I have wires, but if they're not like the right caliber of wire, it's not going to work. And once again, I know very little of this stuff. So, yeah, that's it. That's it. All right, that was great. We did 40 minutes. I don't know if I could do another 20 minutes, to tell you the truth. I don't know what else to say about this, except you just watch me work the entire time here, painting stuff and putting it together and getting it right and stuff, you know. So much little things to think about. I just noticed that there's a huge pole right up the middle of this right here. That's odd. I'm gonna put the car back together. Yeah, I'm gonna take a look at this and go look at the movie. I might have to rent the movie again and watch a couple more. I did videotape parts of it so I can look back and see if I need to do more. Now this diorama, you could do so much more. Like I said, you could really just go ahead and focus only on the top section. If I was to do the top section only, I would probably do a larger scale than this. And that way I would put more emphasis into the front here with the lights. And then you got the lights, you got some bones, you got some, I don't know, these are, I think, are giant speakers right here. Speakers. I don't know what these things are. I don't know what that is, but I'll look on my thing. And then here's the bikes out front. And then all the large trucks are up in the back. So, and then another thing, I'm going to make I actually have it. I'm going to make a power line, and the power line will go, let's see, come over here, look. If I'm looking at my picture, okay, the power line, I think I'm gonna put it around this zone here, and then it won't be that big. I think I figured out it's supposed to be like about this tall, and then I'm going to run two strings up here, and I'm gonna probably look and see if I have some beading string, which is more like a flexible black like string for like bracelets. I might have some of that. If it's thin enough, I'll string it to here. If it's not, I'll get some embroidery thread, which is the thinnest thread. There might be a thinner thread, but I've noticed embroidery thread, it's the thinnest thread you can get. And so that will work great. If I put that to this place here, then I'll take clay and make a tiny pair of shoes and put it over the wires there, just like in the picture here. So, just little things like that. Now in the other pictures, it's not there. See, there's nothing there. But like I said, there's a lot of artistic stuff going on from point A to point B. So there's a lot of things happening there. This is the inspiration for this project. Yeah, so pretty good. If I was to make this not a wall hanging, I would probably make this completely different too. So, full tilt boogie about dusk. Oh, I'm gonna write that down. Full tilt boogie. Okay. Awesome. Thank you, Tom. I will definitely check that out. There's all these little things I gotta watch. Yay! And little things I have to fix. Like you can still see the glue in here. This one I got messed up and I got some glue smeared on the black, so I need to fix that. There's a little spot right there. But once we've, like I said, put the sand on too, it will make a big difference. The sand will fill in a lot of these areas across. So I already went to barbecue last night. It was delicious. I got the ultimate burger from Dave's and I ate 3 bites of it. So that's my lunch for today. it's gonna be exciting to do all this. I just now have to start, now I can start working on this top section. Because with my lights, they're going to be coming out of here. So the lights that I ordered will be coming out of these areas. Hopefully this works out. So what I'll probably do is drill into the bottom of these and then string the lights up. The lights will go inside the box, the whole system. Then I will have to drill a hole for the cord to come out somewhere. This system I bought now has an on and off switch. Before they did not have an on and off switch. You had to plug it in and unplug it. So now I've got an on and off switch for the system, so I can turn it on and off. That's gonna be nice for whoever gets this. And then I'll go ahead and string the lights up and through here, and they'll shoot out the back. And they'll be flashing, and then I got ones that aren't flashing, and so they're going to be headlights in the car. So like I said, I don't know which car or what exactly, but in my vision, I envisioned headlights kind of coming out like this. They might be better coming down, all the way down like this. I'm not sure. Also, I have not used this system for my headlights yet. I've always used the system that I did with the other diorama, the Dracula Tame Impala diorama. This one's different, so hopefully I'll be able to drill out the headlights and put the LEDs in there through this system, and then put them on here, whichever way it goes. I also am going to cut out this top little ridge on both sides to also give us a more of the fall in appearance. So as we go through, there's a lot of stuff going on with this diorama, and I'm having a good time, but I'm getting impatient with this, and I can tell when I get impatient is that I just start working on other projects. The truck's coming out. Yeah, they're all doing pretty good. They're doing pretty good. These are the trucks. I've got tons of trucks for this project. I haven't decided exactly. I guess we're going to do that full hour. We're doing it. We're going the distance. I've got the signature truck. This is what I'll put my signature on. This was a Good and Plenty truck, and that will go up here in the back where my signature is. So that means that that light pole will be around over here somewhere on that side. And then this was the truck that made me want to do the Tame Impala Dracula diorama, but it's not a Peterbilt, it's Kenworth. But I would love this for a future project. Maybe you remember that movie where the guy, it's like from the 70s, and the guy was chasing everybody, the horror movie, and he's chasing with his truck? Or Maximum Overdrive with the gas station. Oh, to see endless ideas for the Hot Wheels. That's the point of the Hot Wheels. This is the truck that I did. This is the truck I used for the Tame Impala diorama. I actually have 3 of these trucks, and they're the only Peterbilts. And it's from Matchbox, not Hot Wheels. So this is that truck. So you can see how I added the back end. And I talked about here where the gas tank should have come all the way here. Dual! Yes, Tom. Thank you. Dual. Yes, that would be awesome to do too. I've done several movie dioramas. So, I mean, anything's possible. So, yeah, so this one. And then I cut the back end off. And then I cut the back end off of a cab over truck that I had. I actually have a video. I just haven't voiced over it yet. I will probably post that today. It'll be about 1 minute, 20 seconds or so, and talks about how I made this diorama really quick and how I took these apart. So expect that maybe today at some point. Okay, and so I got all the trucks. I put that one over there, that I was going to use. I'm not going to use this one. It's too beautiful. It'd be great for something else. But I went and got all these at the old vintage store. These ones specifically, because I need certain trucks to fit on top. I don't even know if I want to use this one because this one's so cool. It's, you know, the cab over and the back end. I like that truck. So let's just do an examples up here. The motorcycles are going to go. The motorcycles are going to go around here. I'm not really sure yet. I haven't really talked to myself about it. But the point is I'm going to go and get some other metal components from my scraps. Let me show you. Is this it? Yeah, this is it. Okay, this is all the model scrap pieces I keep. So some of these are silver and some are tiny. So what I can do is cut these little components and put them around the motorcycles to make it look like there are more motorcycles. Oh, the moving smoke effect. Ah, that's cool. I guess you could do that with like AI or something. That'd be awesome. And then what's really cool is if you ever pick up a boat model, they have got the best tiny things for everything you can think of. Tiny boats, all these things. Do you know there's a at the thrift store or at the antique store by my house, there is or in my town, there's a Titanic model. And I thought, all the things I could glean off of that. It has to be put together. It's still in the box. I think it said it was like one, oh, I don't remember what scale it said. It was like 1/220 or something. So it was like Z or N scale. So I might want to check how much those tracks are worth. Which tracks? Oh, my hairspray cotton balls on the truck. Oh yes, yes. I sometimes wish I could have we could just all just talk freely. So I'm like, oh yeah, totally. But anyway, I use all these pieces for my scrap pieces. So you can see, I have lots of tiny pieces, and then we have the chrome pieces, and I have chrome paint, so I can use those and put those about and make them look like the motorcycles. So put that over here. Yes, yes, I forgot the cotton balls. They do have that moving effect. Just hairspray. I was actually going to look for that fake stuffing, which is more airy looking, is not as good because the cotton balls always have a little white chunks on them. But this is going to work. Hairspray made them pretty stiff. So, all right. And so the motorcycles, I can duplicate those with just junk pieces. I was suggested I can make molds out of them, but you know what? You just buy more or something? I don't know. But they're all the same too. They're pretty much the same. They didn't have a difference in them either. There's no cafe racers there. Okay. I know we were talking about the other day about why they only pick truckers and bikers, and I noticed that mentioned was they were transient, but I also I mentioned that they're usually frowned upon a lot in society, so I think it's a dual thing. This is the truck I cut the back off of, and I'm really sad about it because it's such a great cab. I could use this in the future though for something else. Look at the inside. That's cool. The other one had a person in it, and I wish I could have kept that person out and used it later on in something, but yeah, here's some more trucks. Which this one is a 79. That's probably a Kenworth too. This one's a little smaller in scale. Someone was trying to start an argue with me about how all of these are 1/64 scale, but really they're not. They're all different scales from each other. And, there's the example. That's the example. And the motorcycle is a good example too. Do I have a motorcycle in here? Yeah, look at here's the Hot Wheels motorcycle. So you imagine if I would have used all my Hot Wheels motorcycles for this project with the semi trucks, it wouldn't have worked out. So thank goodness there's tiny things. There's like some dirt in there. It's like there's dirt inside of there. I'm trying to use cars from different eras, and I'll make them all rusty. And if you watch, I'll do a real quick rusty. We'll do a rusty real quick. We'll do a rusty. It'll be fun. Trust me. Let's flip this aside. And we'll do the rusty on top. Okay, we're going to start out with our burnt umber. Whee! It's dark. And what we want is the whole card to be rusty. So we're going to go ahead and put this on all over. Yeah, I could use gesso. I could do these things, but we're just doing it quick. Don't forget to do in here. Don't forget to get inside your ears. It's important. Of all the years I've been doing this, I have seen every method under the sun for doing rust, and I'll tell you, this is probably the easiest way to do it. just put paint on. I've seen people do multi-layers of different things and gone through all these different processes when really you just make it so much easier. Now, if we want, we can patter it down. We don't want to have any stroke lines, so we can just do. It really helps if you make some sort of musical tones out of your mouth when you do this. It just makes life so much better. Now we won't rust in here. We'll black wash. I got a really nice compliment the other day on my Tame Impala diorama about the truck that I altered. And I was like, wow, I feel like I did a good job altering that truck. It takes one compliment, but I'll tell you what, one negative reaction, and then you're like, I got to remember that everybody has different perspective, and it doesn't mean they're right. Yeah. Okay. Brown. All right, now we're gonna go over to the next color. We can do more brown. Now, this is what's great about this. Go back and forth as you go. Go back and forth. Next is most important for rust, burnt sienna. That's not it. Here we go. Bright orange, and tangerine. Those are our rust makers. They make us all rust. They give us the rust we want. Okay, this is where you want to come in, and we're gonna say, there's a car like this where I go motorcycle riding, and it is all rust. It is all rust. The whole thing looks like this. But I put that brown because it gives us that darkness underneath. We can come back through with that later, add more. Got some on the tires, no biggie. I should take the windshield out too because, you know, look at that, look at the hood already. The hood looks good. I'm not even gonna have to mess with that. There we go. Let's get over to this side. Let's do it. There we go. There's this new goofy guy that does reaction videos on YouTube. I can't remember his name. He's so funny. But he gets into a little speeches at the end, and he just talks, and he does his, like, these little, you can do it speeches at the end, and I can't even watch it. I just turn it off. I go, oh, there he goes on his little speeches again. Oh, time to go off onto somebody else. And I'm listening to the Dream Eaters right now. We Are the Dream Eaters. They are hilarious. Music band on here. I just bought their album and listened to it when I was riding my motorcycle. All right. And I'm still waiting on my glasses. They still haven't come. And in fact, after this phone call, I'll give them a call and find out what's happening. All right, we got nice rust going on there. That looks good. Now we're gonna go to the next step. But you know, like I said, go back and forth between these colors. You'll see as you go. It's okay that we have some of that yellow. I should have cleaned that right here. Oops, hold on. Let's fix this real quick before we go farther, you guys. It'll just drive me crazy. Get in that wheel wells. There we go. Is this one? Yeah, I got the other one. Okay, we got the wheel wells. The wheel wells are done. And then we go back now. We're going to grab some of that bright orange. And we're going to put the bright orange where water would be. Maybe put over that yellow. Maybe we'll do a little here. Tap it in a little bit more if you like. Hopefully I'm in the light. I'm in the light. And it's good to do these when they're wet so they kind of meld together. And I'm just, you know, going through, like I said, I go back and forth between the colors. Maybe we'll do this whole front area rusty because it's a different type of metal, maybe. Okay, we'll do a little bit here. We'll do a little sometimes on the ridge, sometimes on the edge. And if you don't, oh, there we go. Just fingered it off there like that because we didn't like something. We just fix it. And back here, over here, over here, over here. Oops, I slid some paint around. I personally don't feel like I need to put the orange. This one turned out really good, rusty. Here we go. Let's get the inside. Go. And set that for a second. And now what gives us that pops that rust the most will be the tangerine. And this is better for some other applications. This is a really doesn't have as many spots on the car, so we'll just guesstimate. But you just kind of go over the orange you already did. You don't go other places. It's only the orange you did, and you add it to there, and it adds a little brightness to it. I'm sure it looks better when you see this dry and then you do it, but it adds a little lightness to it, and it will really make it pop more. Oh, we forgot to do the wheels. We forgot the wheels in front. There we go. Let's do that. I've got to do this front one. Okay. Well, you can wipe the tires off there. Easy to wipe off, so. Okay. Now, let's just do the black real quick on the inside and to see how much we could do this. If we need to take that windshield or leave that windshield in there, then it's best that we do this black to it also. Get a little water. Let's mix it out on here a little bit. Mix it out in here a little bit. Okay, I'm just gonna fill this area up. Get the winch, get the steering wheel, and then you can take that black and you can pounce it around in different spots too. It won't hurt. Especially where the door opens and closes, those are good spots. Dirt areas behind the wheels, dirt areas. Oops. Mash around. All right, look at the seat already. And then the windshield, we're just gonna do the back side like that. Okay, we'll add a little bit to the front just for fun. There we go, and a little bit more on the seat, just to get rid of any, even inside here, we wanna make sure there's nothing noticeable. We'll get more black in the inside. All right, so that's how we've aged our Hot Wheels car for this project, with just using acrylic paints. If you want to spray this with a matte, I wouldn't use a gloss, I would use a matte. If you were doing a cool rat rod, then you can spray it with gloss, that'll look great. But we're not gonna do that, we're doing this style. Oh, I add a little bit back here. See, as you keep going, you'll find out you'll need more here. Oh, like right here, what's this? Let's fix this area with some. And then the tires themselves are really shiny, so we could take the brown onto the tires. It won't hurt. We could even take the tires off. So I hope that looks simple to you, for you to try it yourself, because it is. It's super simple. Ooh, I put the black in there. That look good. Doo-doo-doo. Oh yeah. Oh, and then look right here. We need some more stuff here. Let's put that rust color. Let's get that. Let's get the burnt sienna and orange. Let's make sure I clean my brush between each one, so I don't want to contaminate my colors. Contaminate. All right. Oops. I grabbed the sides. That's okay, no fingerprints. If you need my fingerprints, you can just check out by any of my art. I'm sure my fingerprints are on everything. We can even do the bottom if you want, but like I said, if it's not seen, you don't need to do this. Now I had to do this with several, or I did the car cave, and that was like 50 some cars, and we had to do this with all of them. And they turned out really good. All right. Nice. Nice. Hold on 2 seconds. Not nice enough, because we want a little bit of that orange in here. See, when you put that orange on that wet burnt sienna, it sucks it into the color, and so it doesn't seem as bright. Hence bright orange, I guess. There we go. Nice, way better all around, all around. And then, like I said, we could do the wheels with some brown, or we could make some gesso gray. That would work too, really dark gray. So, well, thanks you guys for joining. We did that hour. I didn't think we were gonna do it, man. I didn't think we were gonna make it. But we did it. Thanks for joining. And I hope you have a good one. I'll be back tomorrow from, what is it, 11:30, unless something crazy happens, because that's my world. And it's 11:30, and then I'll be here Monday through Thursday. So thanks for watching. Bye. Turn this off and push.